Alright guys, so I wanted to make a video of some of this data for the egg lab, so here we go. First, measure the circumference of your egg in centimeters by carefully wrapping the string around the egg and then measuring the length of the string. So I'm going to take my string, wrap it around the egg. I'm going to kind of mark the spot where they overlap. Okay. Using centimeters, I'm going to figure out how long, oh, that's inches. There we go. So it's in here. All right, looks like it's 13.5 centimeters. So we're going to record that either on paper or on Cami. So original circumference of the egg would be 13.5 centimeters. Okay. Now I'm going to describe how the egg looks. It's just a white egg. I am not seeing any veining or marks on it. It doesn't have any cracks. It is hard at this point. It's got its shell on. It's pretty small. So you record those things in the results. What does the egg look like before it was placed in vinegar? Now we're going to place our egg in our beaker, which we're just using cups. Pour vinegar into the beaker until the egg is completely covered. We're going to make sure that we label, so we would have written our name on the outside, and then we're going to observe the egg again. At this point, it will look kind of bubbly. It will start to bubble up. I don't have a picture of that for you, unfortunately, but it sort of starts to look like it's being degraded almost. So you can record that here. After you place the egg in vinegar, there are bubbles around the side of the shell. And that's day 1. Day 2, we're observing what the egg looked like after it's been soaked. So this one's been soaked here. How does it look different? So I'm sure you can compare how it originally looks versus what it looks like now. It's also squishy now. Maybe we'll see. It's a little less white. Now it's going to ask me to gently pour the vinegar from the beaker, remove my egg, and place it on my lab station so that I can get the circumference of the egg and the mass. So I'm going to pause for a second and rinse off my egg. Alright, so I've now rinsed off my egg. This is the same egg. I just kind of rubbed off the white outside part. As you can see, it's kind of squishy now. It's much bigger than it used to be. Alright, so now I'm using the same method that I did earlier. I'm going to find the circumference. I'm going to take my string. I'm going to wrap it around the outside. And it's now 15 centimeters. So you'll record that in your data here. Circumference of the egg after soaking in vinegar is 15 centimeters. It now wants me to find the mass on day 2, number 9. So I'm going to get my digital balance. Okay, and it wants me to, I'll turn it on. There we go. I need to zero it out with my cup in there. So I'm going to put my cup in, and I'm going to hit tear to zero it out. So now it's not going to get the mass of my cup. It's only going to get the mass of my egg. So I'll put my egg in. And it reads 74. I know that's hard for you to see. Maybe. Nope, none of that's working. Okay, sorry. Well, it is 74.97. 74.97 grams is the mass of the egg. And you'll record that here. 74.97 grams. All right. So now we're going to place the egg back in the beaker, and then we're going to cover it with corn syrup, and we're going to let it soak, and then we will see how that turns out. Okay? So this one's been soaked in corn syrup. Let's see, whose is this? This one's been soaked in corn syrup. So you can kind of see the differences there. It looks like it's kind of caved in. There you go. Caved in just a little bit. It looks a lot smaller than it did. Here's my original egg. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can rinse off. Alright, so here is the egg that's been soaked in corn syrup. You can see it's not very pressurized on the inside. It's extremely squishy. And it's quite a bit smaller than it was. Alright, so it wants me, let's see, I'm on day 3. Yes. So observe the changes. So record what changes you see with the egg and that I just described on number 5 down here. Okay. And now using again my same method, I'm going to find the circumference. Get this out of the way. So it's now 12 centimeters. So right here for the circumference of the egg after soaking in corn syrup would be 12 centimeters. I'm also going to get the mass. I'm going to do that by the same method that I did earlier. So I'm going to place my cup and zero it out. So now it's not going to read 0. It's not going to read the weight of my cup, just the mass of my egg. So I'll carefully put my egg in there. And it is 41.47. I know that's hard for you to see, but it's 41.47. So right here, mass after soaking in corn syrup, 41.47 grams. It's grams. Okay. And the last day, I don't quite have this one done actually for you yet, unfortunately. So the last day is to soak the corn syruped egg in some red water, or some colored water really. And you can see the difference. It already looks less, I guess, caved in. So you can see the water's already kind of seeped inside the egg. Okay. So unfortunately, next time I'm going to have to make an additional video on the circumference of the egg and the mass of the egg after soaking in the water and the food coloring, and we'll answer those questions then. But that should be day 1, 2, and 3 with your data for you.